Hi, I'm Kiana, but people know me as Key. We're now in the Akashic Records Library, so let's find out together what books want to reach out. Pisces. Wow, you're the Eight of Fire. A lot of events are moving fast. So much to do, so little time. We're starting to see why we hear that phrase a lot, right? Balance. Yeah, that phrase is definitely made for this moment, right? We're balancing out the actions with the connection to it. It's truly important. When you have events going fast, doesn't every detail become important? I know for me it does. How about you? Oh, Six of Earth. From you putting focus and balance to whatever events that's moving fast, you get that same energy back to you as the Six of Earth. A person comes to you giving you exchanges of gifts, time, money, but most importantly, this person is here to show you how much, no matter the exhaustion, making sure every detail is on point, that someone was watching and sees how much effort you put into it. Oh, wow, okay. New career opportunities, receiving a loan, paying off debts. Your quick movements have definitely solved what could have been a frustrating situation into a smooth one. How do you do it? You said patience, my friend, patience. I see why patience is important. Transformation, death. When events are moving fast, you had to jump to your feet. It's like you had to do things right on the spot without any explanation. If you had any suspicions of how to really soothe out an event, everything you would probably expect for things to go wrong, you knew exactly how to cover it. Wow. So, like, when a person appears, they see if this is another person that is in your presence. They see your effort. They see who you are. Everything that you do, you're very successful at, but you're so balanced. I'm getting this energy as if you're a Libra. Yet Pisces, you are able to put who you are as a person. You started to understand your pattern as a person and started seeing how to put them in different perspective or use them for different scenarios that can help. I know for this one, I had this earlier when I was reading this book, Pisces, the Eight of Pentacles. When meeting a person and you start to get to know each other, but it's always a piece that that person doesn't know. At first, when I looked at this book before, I used to think that this person was just giving a rose to this beautiful person as well, like very passive. Yet, when I started to look a little closer or see a little more, this person is giving a beautiful gesture, like a rose. Usually a rose is a symbol of passion. We'll see why. Yeah, looking at this, I had to pause myself. If I was this person, how, or if we were this person in this character, Pisces. Let's see. I think that's a signal. We're going to have to shed some skin, some layer, like this character is doing. All right. If a person, say this person knew this individual, obviously, but why? Because they're sleeping or sitting in the same bed together. So they feel comfortable around each other and safe. So they had to get to know each other as one person to another in 8 ways. Maybe this is the 8th way they see each other. Like, how does it look? What would start to be that personal intimacy that they would share? Who would start it off first? It looks like the woman is sipping her coffee, but she has her pinnacle here. She has her heart and her loyalty and who she is as a person right here. Maybe who his pentacle is, or his coin, or who he is as a person is reflected in this rose. At first I looked and she looked like she was passive about it because of her posture. But maybe what if this was his first time trying to figure out what does please her? And most importantly, about this character, what if she never knew or knows how to present what pleases her to another person that she does feel comfortable with? What would be the way besides the rose that he could do? From looking at her posture, she looks like she's cold. Whatever she's drinking has to be hot. So she wants to be warmed up. The passion is there, but she wants something tangible to show that the passion matched with something deeper. That deeper is something that can be shown. He's covered up. What if he put the covers over her and still played with her, but with the rose? Like say, I want to play a game with you. And at first she probably would not think of nothing until he says, but I would like to do something first. Can you lay under the covers with me? So he will, put her foot delicately under the sheets, put the covers over her, like a parent to a child, like that energy of protecting but gentleness, and then use the rose to touch her face, like his hand is not a rose, while she's covered. I wonder, would she still be cold, or would her temperature rise, but for a different reason? Just because we're skilled at pursuing someone doesn't mean that we know everything of pursuing. Everyone's different. That rose is just a rose to another person. It's how he would play with that rose, or how she could ask him to play with that rose, will turn their skills of pursuing naturally to something that they can share together, like that 9 of Pentacles. I know you know how that is when, because before we have the relationship we have in the present, we had to have other relationships that we had practice with. So just because we get in a new relationship doesn't mean that we still know everything. This is a new person. even if this is in regards to a new job or a different status at your job. Like any new position, it takes time to get used to you seeing yourself and others seeing yourself at that work field in that position, especially when you get promoted. People are so used to you being in one position, including yourself. Yet when we get promoted in our jobs or get an increase, it changes the perception or how people see us as that person. So it's two ways. But what stuck out was how we can put ourselves in those situations, like positions ourselves where if we spoke a little bit more of what does please us to another person, or when we do get a position that is pleasing to us, that when we step in it, we know why. It's because, I wonder what. Let's see together. Your energy helped me to understand that two of earth, that concept of the scales. Who you are and how others see you sometimes are the same. It's the same because you are that person to show both sides of yourself. What makes it different is the place in which you show a piece of yourself. If this was a workplace, would you be able to show that type of vulnerability? Would this man be able to show that type of vulnerability to a customer or to another employee? No, because of the scene or the position that is held. Even in our relationships or when we bond with another person, even if it's not boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, or intimate relationships, every person is a relationship to us. It's just depend on what place we put them in. In this predicament here, or in this placement, it looks like these are two people, partners, but we don't know if they're partners. What if they're friends and they're trying to figure out if they can be partners? What if these are two people that work together, yet outside of work, it's a whole different personality. It's still the same, but again, they get to see a piece of you that is usually not shown on a regular basis every day. It's how to figure out how to merge those two pieces of ourselves. So when anyone sees us, this person can become vulnerable too. Or they can show that hidden side, that covered up side of who they are to the surface. Wow. So suspicions. If we had to look at this in two ways, when we suspect someone of something, just in general, when we suspect something and we don't know why, sometimes we gotta ask, when have we seen or suspected this type of scenario before? Usually when we do that, that means we have to look at all the relationships we did have, whether it be with our friends, our family, our co-workers, with ourselves. It's so many parts of ourselves that we could see in 8 different ways, in different scenarios. Yet, whenever we had suspicion, it was something that was in the air or around us. We just couldn't pinpoint what it is. When it comes to a partnership, just like this character here, if this person, this man, was to ask this beautiful woman to lay with him, not to physically have sex with him, but to please her in a way that he's never done before, but who she is as a person allowed him to feel safe to do it. Sometimes we are cautious. When we take the pause in life, a lot of times we're cautious of, is this the correct thing to do? Yeah, haven't we noticed when we're cautious, that means we are really careful? We're just concerned about it. So being too frivolous or too cautious with money. What would make a person be cautious with money? If we know we're about to start something, when we need to have some type of balance. Let's see. The moon. Wow, the secrets. Okay. So let's see. I can see why that turned off. We don't need that. You are the first star that I get to talk to in the library. So it's like me meeting you for the first time and you meeting me. Like two strangers meeting for the first time. Don't we usually pause to see how to go about the next move? When we do that, then we see why we take the time, and we see the person, place, or thing that we're taking the time for and how we play that role in it. When we notice that the juggling act doesn't have to feel juggling anymore, we're seeing that we're that one person putting together parts of ourselves to become one. It's like putting our masculine. I'm a female, so if I had to look at it this way, if I had to look at my masculine side, it's how I put actions into things. That's me tapping into my masculine side. How I try to nurture it by connecting it, that's my feminine energy. You're doing the same thing, masculine and feminine. Pisces, you had to do a lot of transformation of what used to be to what can become of it. It's like not dismissing it, but we're seeing together how, like any death, it transforms us. The things that we used to do. In this scenario, if we were in the scene, watching this a little closely, in our first relationship, did we ever think of buying an object to show our affection? And when we did, wasn't it terrifying or perplexed to figure out what would be the right gift, time, or energy, or effort to show the person we care about? And vice versa? Sometimes it takes vulnerability. So Pisces, this person does know that you know how to shed all layers of who you are as a person and become completely naked around this person. Maybe this individual hasn't experienced that before, and you're the first person they're experiencing being completely vulnerable with. Maybe they only showed you a piece or partial of their vulnerable side. Again, in order for us to know how to be something, sometimes we have to see a comparison. And a lot of times, just like the scales, how can the scale be even if it didn't have the other side to it? Wow. So, if these books resonate with you, subscribe. This is the last chapter of the book. I need to get some more books and experience things for us to reconnect once more. Either in one or two energies or 2 months from now, you will know when we connect. The only way you can know is when you do subscribe. When I subscribe to other people that I feel connected to, I know right away when they're sending out a part of themselves for us to watch. So, I can't wait to see you again. If you ever are wondering how to continue on, because now when we meet again, it would mean that I'm moving forward with you. I had to go on this roller coaster ride with you as well. and you with me. It wasn't just one way. In my life, I had to do like you're doing and live out our energies and see where it takes us. This time, I want to see if something our energy takes us to next. But I would have to be away for a minute. And a minute can mean a month or two. But most importantly, I'm coming back because I could not be who I am or bring out a lot of who I am without you. So let's see the last three. Okay. So remember, when it comes to our ego, the part that we try to disguise or hide, it's the same things that that person sees in us outwardly. We just don't know that they see that. That will make us show a part of ourselves that we try to hide on the outside instead. Don't worry, we all are like that. When we meet people for the first time, we hide a part of ourselves that is the most powerful part. Because we know when it comes to connecting with another person, we really want to show our complete selves. We're just cautious of how that person, place, or thing will feel about us or connect to us in their own way. But most importantly, in a way that is naturally, it just feels natural for both and not just one. But in order for that to happen, one or the other must come up to communicate or to want to connect. I had to learn that myself with you. So thank you, Pisces, for showing me how to practice, how to be and know that us as a person is powerful.